Yo, James here with Heart&SolMTG. We're going to partake in another intermediate Swiss draft on MTGO. Try to pull a 3-0 record out. Hopefully this video quality is much better than that first draft I did. So straight into pack 1. Verdant Force is our rare. For 3 green and 5 colorless, at the beginning of each upkeep you create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. The ability is amazing, but if we're going to be creating sapperlings, I think our pick is going to be that Slimefoot. Other good cards in this pack, obviously Silhouette is very good removal, as long as you're not battling vigilant creatures. We also have Blessed Light for removal. And a card that I do really like, Grow from the Ashes. It allows you to dip into multicolored decks. I don't necessarily want to go straight into a multicolored deck, but I'm going to just jam Slimefoot the Stowaway. I think he's a good enough pack 1 pick 1. It lets us play black and green. There's a lot of good cards in those colors. So let's hope we see something good in the packs that's getting passed to us. Alright, so second pack comes around. Our opponent did not take the rare or any of the uncommons. Bet you Eviscerate is probably his pick out of that pack, or Blessed Light for our sake. Let's hope it was a Blessed Light. I would like to see a little more black coming around. Feral Abomination or Windgrace Acolyte, I don't think it's good enough to take one of those. Thorn Elemental is a very good green card. If you can get it out and they don't have an immediate answer for it, I think it's safe to say that you probably won. Thran Temporal Gateway. I'm not super familiar with this card. For 4 colorless mana, you get a legendary artifact. You may pay 4, put a historic permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. I don't think this card's really that good, but we're going to take it, and maybe we'll see some pretty good legendary creatures. So Thran Temporal Gateway. We're going to move that to the sideboard right now. This pick 3, there's obviously a lot of strong cards that scream out to us here. Spore Swarm fits really well with Slimefoot the Stowaway. Same with Sapperling Migration. I think for the sake of it, instant speed at 4 mana Spore Swarm is a little bit better. We're going to take the Spore Swarm. Alright. So black is not strong in these packs. I think our opponent in that first pick probably took an Eviscerate. This pack, there's some pretty strong white with Mesa Unicorn. Kind of makes me wish I started going white. Grow from the Ashes is probably going to be our pick here. I don't want to take a Thorn Elemental too early, especially if our mana curve is going to be lower. So we'll take the Grow from the Ashes and be happy with that. Alright, and this pack is good. Dark Bargain, it is card draw. I like this a lot. You are going to be taking 2 damage. Obviously, with the Slimefoot deck, you're going to be gaining a little bit of life with your Sapperlings dying. So you're not super worried about taking 2 damage, especially with the option of picking 2 out of the 3 cards. I think Deathbloom Thallid is probably a safer bet to play with Slimefoot. So we're going to go ahead and take the Thallid and get past red and white. Some pretty good cards in those colors. Gideon's Reproach, good removal. Skizik is a pretty powerful creature. You want to kick it every time. It's only going to cost you 1 extra mana, and the creature does get a stick. I kind of want to stay in our colors, so we're going to take Pierce this guy. Green and black doesn't have a lot of strong flyers. So we want to be able to get rid of flying when we can. We got a Cabal Paladin, 4/2. It is on the ground. or we have Windgrace Acolytes. You will be milling yourself 3 cards, but you get to put, or you get to gain 3 life with that. Other cards in this pack, Arbor Armament. It's pretty sweet. That does give one of our creatures reach. Sanctum Spirit. 3/2 lifelink for 4. Discard a historic card. This game's indestructible. I think we're going to take the Acolyte here. Want to keep our creatures and our spells in separate zones here. So green and black in this pack. Nothing super crazy. I think if I were to be playing a different color, like Relic Runner, we did try him in a red-blue historic deck. Casting 3-drop historic spells after you cast him definitely puts a lot of damage through. We're going to take a Cabal Paladin here. I think we're happy to see a second Grow from the Ashes. This will make us feel a lot better about maybe splashing for a third color. Especially since black has been drying up. We don't have any removal, which we definitely need to find in this second pack. Primordial Worm, he is a late game creature, 6 mana, 7/6. I think with 2 Grow from the Ashes, it's going to be pretty easy to have that mana on board. And white. Steal Away seems pretty freaking good right now. What are we most interested in taking? This is going to block our creatures, but we're not necessarily sad if our saplings die. We're going to be pinging in for damage regardless. Invoke the Divine. I'm not worried about that. It's not going to be destroying anything I have on the battlefield. Sergeant of Arms. We're going to take that just to get it out of the pack. The Glider. Filler just in case we need something to throw out. Charge. I want to get that out of packs. And Healing Grace because we're not taking on that. And we get an island to let us know that we should have been playing blue. Alright, so Thran Temporal Gateway, it is going to put any historic permanent onto the battlefield. That's pretty sweet. It allows us to play essentially any artifact at a very poor Aether Vial speed. Alright, second pack. Helm of the Host. That's a sweet card. That's definitely going to be our pick. If it's not taken care of, it's going to win. If we could put Helm of the Host on a Slimefoot, that's going to be insane. Hopefully that's something we get to do. Alright, our second pick here. I kind of want to take Knight of Grace out of this pack because I hate playing against the Knights, but white is not going to be in our plan. I also really like Thallid Omnivore. 3/3 for 4. You pay 1 to sacrifice a creature. We could sacrifice a lot of saplings to that depending on how many we could build. But we want to actually get saplings. So sapling migration, that's going to be our pick here. Alright. This pack has no good green for us unless we want to take a Pierce the Sky or Combat Trick, and it has no good black unless we find 7 more rat colonies later on in the draft. Voltaic Servant, it's a very weird vigilant type creature. For value, I think we're going to take the land. This is in one of our colors, and it's going to allow us to splash into white if we decide that we see something powerful, like that Steal Away in pack 1 that we should have taken. Don't think I'm necessarily mad about passing it. We got some pretty good Sapperling synergy going on here, so we're going to push through. This deck's going to work. This deck's going to be much better than our red-blue historic wizards. Alright, this pick, Guy's Blessing, that's a no-go. Adventurous Impulse, I really like this card. It's good early game to find lands. It's good late game to find creatures. Do we need to find land or creatures? Yes, if we decide that we want to play that Primordial Worm. But we are interested in splashing for white with that Isolated Chapel. I think Gideon's Reproach We might just move it to the sideboard and see if we can end up playing that later on. We'll take the Gideon's approach and get past jank. So Thallid Omnivore is definitely our pick here. I think it's safe to say that everything else in this pack we're not super interested in. I do like Short Sword. It puts through a lot of damage in a game. I think the equipment in this set it's a lot better than the previous sets that I've tried with. Playing any sort of equipment spells. Even though there is a ton of artifact and enchantment removal. Thallid Omnivore is our pick here. We're going to jam that. Cabal Paladin, good to move to the sideboard at the moment. Alright, so more good white. We got a Serra Angel. I don't want to play against this. I do have one way to remove this if our opponent decides to drop it. Green and black, there's not a whole lot going on. I think Serra Angel is going to be our pick. Isolated Chapel is letting us know maybe it's okay to splash white. And to grow from the ashes, it's going to be pretty easy to get the white here. So Serra Angel it is. And yeah, there's not a good amount of green coming around. There's not a good amount of black. So I think we're in a predicament here. Mesa Unicorn is definitely our pick. Red isn't super overpowering in this pack. Syncopate's going to be annoying to play against, but as long as they can't return it to their hand, I'm not necessarily worried about it. Jousting Lance, that wouldn't be a terrible card to play. 2/1, give a creature, or +2/+0, give a creature first strike. We're going to take the Mesa Unicorn. Alright. And we get past a big old meaty pile. Water Snapper's great. 4/5 hexproof. Very hard to get rid of in this format. We got Opt. We're not playing blue, so we're going to just quit looking at those. I think Thorn Elemental, we'll go ahead and pull that. See if we can end up playing that later down the road. Feral Abomination. I kind of like Feral Abomination. He gets to remove a lot of creatures, but I think we're going to take the Candle. I like it as a 1-drop. Late game, you get to kill a creature. Hopefully they're not suiting it up and making it stronger than 5 toughness. Alright, so this pack is bad. Feral Abomination, we're going to take it because we're playing black. In case we need to play against flyers, we will gladly take Arbor Ornament. We'll remove a creature from the pack. Sparring Construct. It's not a bad 1-drop. Gaia's Protector. I like this card. 4/2, and he must be blocked. He might be seen play in our deck here. And nobody wants the Fire Elemental. I'm forced a creature over a basic land. Alright, so I think this screams to us that we're fairly rewarded for playing black. Demon Lord Belzenok, a 6/6 flying trampler for 2 black and 4 colorless mana. When he enters the battlefield, we get to draw cards, hopefully more than one. If they have a converted mana cost 4 or greater, then you will repeat the process after putting that card into your hand. You will be taking 1 damage for each card. This is a safe choice. We're going to take Demon Lord Belzenok here. It's a very strong creature in this set, in this format. Siege Gang Commander. When he enters the battlefield, you're going to make 3/1/1 red goblin creature tokens. And you may pay 2 to sacrifice a goblin and deal 2 damage to any target. I really like that. There's obviously better cards in this pack. We're not going to be taking Siege Gang Commander. I hope nobody is in that Goblins deck. Yavimaya Shepherd is looking really good here. You do get 2 bodies for 3 mana. One of them being a Sapperling, so you're going to be able to synergize with Slimefoot. We'll be taking that. Alright, and then we get past some pretty good stuff here. Ground the Lonely King. Is this going to be something that we can make work? If he attacks alone, you double his power and toughness. For 6 mana, you get a 5/5. And for 9 mana, you're going to get a 10/10. If he attacks alone, it'll deal 20 power. That card's insane. I think it might be good to play that. Wearing green, after all. Let's try it out. We're here to have fun, right? Grow from the Ashes, number 3. So, do we want to always hit every bit of mana that we need? Or do we want to pull cards that are good? I think it's a little bit of both. We want to hit mana and we want good cards. The Confessor, this is a great card. This is probably going to be our pick, as much as I just want to jam a 3rd Grow from the Ashes. Call of the Cavalry, I don't think I really want to play a whole ton of white. We're going to take the Confessor so we can get more creatures. We only have 11 creatures in the deck, going up to 12. Alright, so this is exactly what you want to see in a token deck. Song of Freyalise. So every creature that we control, as long as they don't have Summoning Sickness, is going to be able to tap to add 1 mana of any color. I don't think we're scared to be playing our Demon or our Grunt anymore. This is a very easy pick. We're going to go ahead and take that. And so pack 3, we're getting pretty rewarded here. We got a Deathbloom Thallid. And a Dark Bargain. Card draw is pretty sweet. I don't think card draw is going to be necessary in this deck. Card draw is pretty necessary in every deck. I don't know what I'm saying. I do, however, think that we can cut white out of this deck and feel good about it. Just be happy that we got the Serra Angel before someone else did. Thallid is our pick here. We wanna be getting creatures, especially Sapperlings, whenever we can. So Thallid going directly into our deck. Oh wow! Oh wow! This is the 2-drop that you begged for. Spore Crone. Wow. Okay, I'm not even gonna say it. Everybody knows what it is. You can tell by the art. All of our Sapperlings are going to get +1/+1. And our Funguses are going to get +1/+1. That's a very easy pick. It's going to be insane if we see another one of these. I'm going to giggle pretty hard. Alright, we didn't see another one of them. We do see a Llanowar Scout, a 1/3 for 2 mana. You're able to put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. That'll help with some mana ramp. Invoke the Divine. We can't hate this out of the pack because we don't necessarily want our Helm of the Host to be blown up. We'll probably do that just to be a shady little brute. Sanctum Spirit, I don't think we're necessarily scared of Lifelink or Indestructible Creature. We got enough presence. We're going to go ahead and hate the Invoke the Divine. Now just throw that into the sideboard. Alright, so Adventurous Impulse. I'm liking this card a little bit better now. We want to get into lands and we want to get into creatures. Sadly, it'll throw Grow from the Ashes into the bottom if that's one of the cards that we see. But I think we're safe. Song of Freyalise and spamming out creatures. Now we're gonna take Dark Bargain. I want to be able to draw some good stuff. Broken Bond. I really like this card. There's a lot of insane artifacts and enchantments that can definitely put you out of the game, and you need some way to destroy those, which we don't have in this deck yet. Broken Bond can be the one that we have. Also really like Whisper, being able to sacrifice 2 of our creatures to return anything that they destroy. We're going to take Whisper. Let's have some fun. Mammoth Spider, we'll put that in the sideboard just in case we need to throw out something to block flyers. Feral Abomination to the sideboard. Alright, so we see another Whisper. Maybe we should have taken the Broken Bond. Oh well, it's too late. Elephant to the sideboard and a basic island at the very end because this is telling us we should have played a basic or a blue deck, which we didn't. Okay, so we have 21 spells in our deck. Isolated Chapel is being counted as one of those, which we don't need. We're not going to be playing wide in this deck. We do have Thran Temporal Gateway. This card could be pretty good. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 historic permanents in the deck that we would be able to cheat out with Thran Temporal Gateway. 2 of them being Demon Lord Belzenok and Grun the Lonely King, so we don't necessarily want to cheat out Grun because it's going to be important to pay his kicker whenever we have the opportunity to. So Thran Temporal Gateway I think is a no-go for us. Demon Lord Belzenok, he does have an enter the battlefield mechanic, so he synergizes pretty well with Thran Temporal Gateway, but I don't think it's necessary to throw him out. Cards that we do want to add to the deck, we have some pretty strong black cards in our sideboard at the moment that we could put in. We have some pretty strong green cards. Maybe we might end up playing white for something. Mesa Unicorn, I like the lifelink on it, but I don't think we're worried about that. As long as Slimefoot can stay on the battlefield, we're going to be gaining life off of all of our saplings. Thorn Elemental, like I said earlier, if this hits the battlefield and our opponent can't deal with it immediately, then I think it's safe to say that we've won the game. With all of our saplings and Song of Freyalise, it's going to be pretty easy to cast larger spells, so I like putting this into the deck. I think it's good. We're going to go ahead and put Thorn Elemental into the deck. Every time I've had to play against that, it beats me down. Mammoth Spider, it is a 3/5 for 5. It has reach. I don't want to have to side this in just because my opponent plays a flyer that just beats me up. I would rather have this in the deck to begin with, and if our opponent decides to play that flyer, and this is in my hand, I'll be able to cast this and block. So Mammoth Spider, we're definitely putting this into the deck. Puts us at a total of 22 in our main deck. I'm assuming anybody watching this knows that 17 lands and 23 non-land spells are the recommended. We're going to stick with that. I would say it's safe to play 16 lands in this deck, but I don't want to get stuck with 2 lands because I can't draw that third and have 2 Grow from the Ashes in my hand and never be able to hit it. So we're just going to be adding 1 more spell to the deck. Whisper seems bad if I have 2 of them in my hands. It is only a 2/2 for 4. The ability on Whisper is good. We'll be able to sacrifice 2 saplings and return creatures from our graveyard to the battlefield. I'm pretty sure I said hand earlier, and that's because I have no clue how to play this game. If our opponent has a lot of removal and we're really relying on Whisper to bring our creatures back from the graveyard, then maybe we side the second one in. I kind of like Cabal Paladin. Here, we have just enough historic spells, maybe, to put some damage through. I also like Sparring Construct because when it dies, you get an ability. Or we can Arbor Armament, and our opponent can swing in with any flyer they want, and we just say, guess what? Combat Trick. Plus, it's a 1/1 counter, and your creature doesn't have to die to benefit from it. Arbor Armament. Let's go ahead and add Arbor Armament. I've been beat down by flyers way too many times in this set, so we're going to play it. And we'll see how things go. So, we're playing a black-green deck today. Very much different from the blue-red Historic Wizards deck that we played yesterday. I'm liking this one a little bit more. There's a lot of Saproling synergy in it, so I'll see you all in round 1.